From June 17th to June 25th, 1994, New York, home of the spectacular, will host the most ambitious athletic and cultural event ever. An unprecedented 15,000 participants and over 500,000 spectators will spend more than $126 million over a 10-day period. At the same time, activities will commemorate the 25th anniversary of Stonewall, birth of the modern gay and lesbian rights movement. New York City can expect a total of 1 million visitors arriving to enjoy the many cultural activities surrounding these events, which means expanded revenue for the many service businesses in the tri-state area. This multi-sport competition, held every 4 years, stresses cooperation, fitness, and having fun, and is open to all. The competition is international, involving every continent, and such countries as Australia, Germany, Great Britain, Israel, Japan, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe. Welcome to Gay Games 4.
The brainchild of Dr. Tom Waddell, a former U.S. Olympic decathlete, the Games were first held in San Francisco in 1982, attracting over 1,300 participants. San Francisco again hosted the 1986 Gay Games with over 3,400 participants, making it the largest multi-sport event in North America that year. Gay Games 3 at Vancouver was astoundingly successful, with 7,250 athletes participating, again making it the largest multi-sport event held that year anywhere. Historically, the Games have doubled in size every 4 years. Gay Games 3 was the biggest sporting event in 1990, with more participants than the Goodwill Games, the Asia Games, or even soccer's World Cup.
Tom Waddell believed that to do one's personal best is the highest sporting goal. This belief permeates the Games philosophy, a philosophy that stands even stronger today. Gay Games 4 will be the most inclusive sporting event in history. Men and women, both gay and non-gay, people of color, people living with AIDS, people of all nationalities with all types of abilities, all are welcome to participate.
Founding co-president Tom Cracovia.
Because New York City is the media capital, the world will see the diversity of our community, sending a strong message that we are a part of it.
Founding co-president Karen Mirbaum.
The theme of Gay Games 4 is unity, which reflects the international spirit of our times by fostering camaraderie and friendship.
In 1986, 25% of the Games competitors were women. By 1990, women made up 43% of the participants, surpassing the Olympics and all other major international sporting events. And in 1994, our goal is 50% women at Gay Games 4. No other major sporting event has a higher percentage of female participation than the Gay Games.
Unity 94. The next Gay Games expects 15,000 athletes competing in over 30 sports, making this a world-class event.
Basketball.
Softball.
Soccer.
Volleyball.
Physique.
Wrestling.
Bowling.
Billiards.
Running, which includes a host of track and field events and a marathon exciting to any runner.
Cycling.
Golf. Tennis.
And the triathlon. These are just some of the sports that will be offered at Gay Games 4. Mike Maliff, gold medalist in swimming from Los Angeles at Gay Games 3 in Vancouver, set world records in the 50 and 100 meter in the butterfly, and he's looking to lower his times in 94. Gay Games 4 organizers are planning early so that site selection will conform to international governing standards, and Games participants will again be eligible for world records. But just a reminder, the Games are for everyone. There are no qualifying preliminaries.
Betty Baxter, former Canadian Olympic athlete, has been an internationally recognized sports consultant and coach for over 15 years.
My Olympic involvement was the pinnacle of my physical career. However, I would say working with the Gay Games was really the pinnacle of my emotional career in sport. The Gay Games was just a delight to find people playing for their health and their bodies.
The Gay Games continually demonstrate their power
By giving opportunity where there was none.
by encouraging participation where there was little,
By bringing all people together.
Here is your chance to share in the spirit and joy and opportunity of Unity 94. Gay Games 4.
Now, let the games begin. Be a part of it.
Being a part of Gay Games 4 is the focus of this edition of Forward Now. Welcome. I'm Eileen Karn. Our guest is Paul Rood, Interim Coordinator of Volunteer Services for Unity 94. Welcome, Paul. Thanks for coming up to be on the show.
Thank you.
15,000 athletes, 31 sports. How many volunteers do you need to pull this off?
8.4 million.
8.4 million volunteers?
We have they're expecting over 500,000 spectators. And at this time right now with the 15,000 athletes, we're looking at 5,000 to 8,000 volunteers generally.
Right. And what sort of jobs do you need them to do?
Everything. There's clerical, there's the data entry. We need people at the venues for each sport. Swimming, track, tennis, pool, timekeepers, judges, linemen,
Security,
logistics,
moving things around,
signage, everything. I mean, we have the Unity Center where there's going to be a 24-hour constant information and everything where we'll need people to staff that.
That's right. Once the games get up and running, there'll be a phone number that you could call at any hour of the day if you have questions or you need
24-hour information line.
So that'll have to be staffed.
Right.
Oh, it's
24
awesome,
hours
Paul.
a day.
Yeah. Well, if someone wants to volunteer, how do they go about doing it?
Well, they can contact our office. And
okay, we'll be giving the number and address at the end of the show.
Right, and they generally send out an application right away. Either we can set out an application or set up an appointment and have you come into the office and meet with both myself or Michael Fredrickson, who is the Director of Volunteer Services. And once you get the application, you fill it out. It has areas for each department: cultural festival, opening and closing ceremonies, office, general clerical, the sports venues, transportation committee.
So you
medical,
could list right on the sheet the areas that you're interested in.
Languages, language services, which we'll need a lot of. Send it back in, we call the person, try to get them to come in or at least speak to them on the phone, get some general idea of what area they want to be in, try to plug them into the different...
So once my application would be in, I could expect a phone call shortly thereafter, within a week, following up.
We've been getting a lot of responses. I know that since I took over the interim job in February, from February to March, I got upwards of about 8,000 applications.
My goodness, yeah.
Yeah, and they just keep coming in. Anchorage, Alaska, Italy, all over the world. It's just incredible.
Oh, it's really wonderful.
Thank God.
You're going to need every
single one
help.
of them.
How do you then go about, there's an orientation, is that right?
Yeah,
so
once we get you in and we introduce you to whoever it is you want to, or whichever department you want to deal with, they will show you the ropes, so to speak, tell you what they're doing, how to get involved, exactly what's needed, what your role will be, sort of get you involved now rather than waiting until the games.
Right.
Like with the opening and closing ceremony, we have you have to be involved 2 days before the opening, and 2 days before the closing, and then 1 day after each, just for setting up and breaking down and logistics and getting people in and out. So I'm sure once they get closer to the games, they'll be able to bring you to the venues where everything's going to be happening and show you, exactly what they're doing.
And then through that orientation process and review, you get credentialed, you get a photo badge or something?
We'll have a credential center, which also needs to be staffed by volunteers 24 hours a day, where they'll be taking the badges and all the information, giving you your passes and your IDs and security and tickets, and
you'll be a legitimate volunteer at that
Yes.
point, right?
Yes.
And there's some benefits to volunteering. I get some
Really?
discounts on
Yes,
some discounts on tickets, or
they're
get a
having
volunteer T-shirt.
merchandise is, I think, 40% off for volunteers. There is free merchandise for some of them, only because we need certain T-shirts for identification, such as the one I'm wearing, where we're at a benefit or a special event or a venue, where we give them the T-shirt to wear, and then of course they keep it. And there's also the recognition and the experience, and
Warm, fuzzy glow.
yes,
of,
just the
being of help.
satisfaction of being involved in the whole thing to me. But,
Yeah, that's great. Is that what got you started, Paul? What about your personal involvement?
I have always been involved in public relations, marketing, special events type of thing, and actually just recently coming out to everybody in my family, I decided to get involved, and I started out as a volunteer working on my lunch hour, because my office was only 2 blocks away from Gay Games, and a position became available, so I started.
So you're on the staff now.
Yes.
And once, in another week or so, I guess you're going to be the actual sports events
Right,
volunteer coordinator. So
they're very big on titles, and it's administrative assistant for operations, so I'll be dealing with all the operations, which is the sports venues, mainly the sports venues, volunteers, and venue managers, and the medical staff, and that.
Right, great. I'm sure our viewers want to know about tickets, because they're going to want to be spectators
Everybody
and come
wants to
in
know
to
about
the
tickets, yes.
How is that going? And
at the moment, our Unity 94 ticket office is selling tickets. Group tickets are on sale April 1st, and then the single tickets go on sale May 1st.
Okay.
Group sales are, I think, groups of 10 or more. And there are also Unity passes, which will get you into several events.
Okay, so it's like groupings of events that you can purchase.
And those are probably your best bet, because not knowing, if you're not familiar with what sport you want to do, you just want to be involved, you want to go and see, then a Unity pass will probably be your best bet, because it gets you into, like I said, 3, 4, 5 different events at once.
Right.
And it also gets you involved in the ceremonies, both opening and closing.
Right, yeah.
Which the volunteers will be involved in also.
Right. Ticketron has the...
Ticketron will be selling tickets
so
for the Gay Games,
so starting
plus our Unity ticket office.
Right, so starting May 1st. And the
May
Unity
1st.
ticket office is in Manhattan.
Right in Manhattan, right across from Grand Central.
I think the address is 52 Vanderbilt.
Yes.
So if people are in Manhattan, they can go directly.
They can stop in and bother them.
Now, some of the events actually are seated events, but there aren't tickets. Is that right?
Right. Some of them
like
are not
softball?
ticketed events. There's the softball. There's like the marathon. And the nice thing about it is we just got our marathon route licensed, I guess you could say.
I see. Right.
Whatever it is that they do in the city.
Because it's approved for official timekeeping.
It took
and
4 years
records.
for the city to agree to let us run through the city. It's the first time ever that the city streets in New York City have been closed for anything other than the New York Marathon. So that's a big
That was a
thing
great
for us.
achievement to have gotten that.
Finally, yes.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, and then I guess it is important to get on it right away because it's first come, first serve on the tickets.
Right, yeah,
Right.
the sooner you call, the better it is, because they can't just blanket everybody, so when you call, it's however many tickets there are, that's how many there are.
Right. Now, if I was participating in a sport, could I also volunteer?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
most
not for that
definitely.
sport, probably.
Well, it depends. There are swimming events that are different things,
Yeah,
and a
lengths
lot
and
of people
stuff.
are involved in one of 5, I think it is, or 7. And you can always, if you're going to be there and you're competing and you're done, of course it's tiring, but if you want to get involved after that, please.
Right.
We would rather have that because you're familiar with the territory, so to speak, and you know what's needed. Not that people off the street wouldn't, but it's easier for somebody who knows the sport to
Right.
volunteer for it.
And if I had a special talent, like I was a timekeeper, or I was an emergency medical technician or something,
Right,
where I
yeah.
had a special talent
Right,
to offer as a volunteer.
Especially, yeah.
I should
it's not a
list that on my
large-
application form, and then
Right,
My
and what happens is they put you directly in touch with a committee that deals with that. We have a security committee which was just formed in the beginning of March, and a language services committee which is doing something now. So if you know a foreign language or ASL, ESL, especially ASL, we've got a large deaf contingent coming, desperately needed in language services. So
Yeah,
as long as that's on your application.
The Unity 94 has really tried to include all sorts of groups and everybody. I think one of the great focuses has been people with disabilities,
Right.
making sure that every venue is
Yes.
accessible.
We're very involved with the ADA groups right now, the Americans with Disabilities Act. I myself was in Washington to help get it passed. My sister's disabled, and she
how
works
grateful.
with independent living centers throughout New York State. So I'm, along with operations, going to be involved in that and making sure that we have accessibility for everybody, because it's only fair.
Right. And the inclusiveness is, in that sense, is extended to the events also.
Right.
There's special
everything.
track and field events
Right.
for people with disabilities. Martial arts, I believe, is
Yes.
having a special category. Swimming.
Swimming
And some of
especially.
the other ones, yeah. That's really great. And then people with AIDS have special needs that are also being answered by Unity 94, is
Yes,
that right?
and we just heard that Janet Reno has waived the ban on HIV.
Oh, how wonderful, Paul. I was so concerned that the
she's
immigration...
waived it for 10 days. So I'm hoping that a lot of people who thought they couldn't get involved or as athletes or spectators will now come and be able to join it, because it's very, it's quite an achievement to have something like that happen.
Overrule the U.S. Customs.
Yeah, it's quite an
Awesome.
achievement, so I'm hoping that they
Right.
take advantage of it, not just because it's gay games, but because they can.
Right.
And that they have the right to do it.
And then the Gay Games office will have a special office set up for people with AIDS where
we'll
they
have,
can get
well,
help
we
with
have,
accommodations.
Yeah, we
or-
have 2 different headquarters. One will be on Pier 90, and the other will be at Hotel Pennsylvania. And they'll be able to, 24 hours a day, stop in and hopefully we can help them out. I don't know. With all
Right.
the people coming, it's going to be
Right.
difficult. But
So it's spectators and athletes, people with
Right.
AIDS, which is great. I mean, they'll be competing in events and show that there's
Yeah.
life after diagnosis. Yeah, it's really wonderful.
It's going to be quite an event.
Yeah, really will show what the gay community is all about. The cultural festival, of course, is a whole other area.
Yes, that's like a whole separate entity. I mean, I'm wrapped up in the gay games, but then every now and then somebody mentions the CF, and it's like, oh, that's right. And they're planning, I mean, numerous events during the whole week. They're starting actually, I think, the 16th or 17th of June, and there's some events running right through July. I know Sir Ian McKellen is writing a one-act play just for the gay games. Bill T. Jones is coming to perform. A lot of local groups, a lot of gay comedians and musicians and artists and dancers, and I mean they're doing incredible things with this cultural festival.
So that'll be happening in evening events, and actually
during the day and the evening.
And day and evening. And the Gay Games office is the contact for that too.
Yes, we have 3 different offices in one building, and the main office, the sports venue office, and the cultural festival.
Yeah.
So
So the 31 Sports is a big new entry this year.
Yes.
That's excitement, huh?
Yes, one of the largest that we had in Lillehammer was one of the largest attractions was the ice skating. And this year in Gay Games 4, it's the first time that ice skating has ever been included in Gay Games. And so we thought, going one step further, we would do the same-sex pairs figure skating, which is the first time that's ever been done in any sporting event. And we've gotten a huge response out of that. It's
Really?
just
Yeah, the athletes are
incredible.
really coming forward for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
it's singles, same-sex pairs or mixed pairs.
Right.
And then I think ice dancing too, isn't there?
Yes.
So
yes.
ice dancing. So
yeah,
it's really
they went all out with the whole thing. Being
right.
that it's our first time, they decided to show them that.
That sounds like it's going to be a hot ticket.
Yeah, that's going to be a very packed venue. If you want tickets to the ice skating, you're going to have to sleep outside the ticket office to get them because it's going to
Probably.
be very popular.
Right. Now, if I couldn't volunteer or spectate, there's other ways to support Gay Games 4.
Yes, we have benefits and fundraisers all over the United States right now. And we also have merchandise on sale through Don't Panic, APP Pharmaceutical, which is the first pharmaceutical company to ever pick up sponsorship of a gay-related anything.
Right.
There's several others. I think the Loft is selling some of our merchandise
right.
in Manhattan.
So the proceeds from that go right to the
Yeah,
Gay
they go
Games.
right to the Gay Games to help bring the athletes, to help house the athletes, to help transport them, feed them, get them to the venues,
Right.
make sure they have the proper equipment, make sure that if they do break a world record that we can get that into the record books and that type of thing.
Right, yeah. That would be another way of helping.
Yes.
Housing an athlete.
Yeah, housing an
Which,
athlete, which
you
is
know,
a desperate need.
Right.
Anybody familiar with Manhattan apartments knows that you have a very small space and it's usually already crowded. So.
Right. Well, our viewers here in the suburbs, so to speak, maybe have a little more room. And there's some of the venues are up here in the Bronx,
Right, and
Lehman College.
Lehman
and,
College, Orchard Park.
Yeah, Orchard Beach. Yeah.
Orchard Beach. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this area alone, so
Right.
it's always available.
Great. And then the big culmination is Stonewall 25.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Stonewall 25, they're doing a march, and they're starting out from several different locations, and they're going to be marching to the UN to affirm human rights for gays, lesbians, transsexuals.
Everybody.
I know I'm leaving several
that's the whole
people
unity
out,
idea
but
right there.
that's the whole thing.
Okay, so
that's going to be a huge event, and it's going to end up in Central Park, and they'll have the mile-long rainbow flag going through also.
A big rally there, lots of
Huge
speakers.
rally.
It's going to be a great June for all of us. I want to thank you for coming,
Oh, thank
Paul.
you.
It was really great to share this information. Our viewers are going to really want to know and get involved. For information about becoming a volunteer, write Gay Games Volunteer Services, 19 West 21st Street, Suite 1202, New York, New York 10010, or call 212-633-9494. Let's show the world what great hosts New Yorkers can be. Help make Unity 94 the best Gay Games ever. Thanks for watching. Let us know that you're watching. Send your comments to Forward and Out, care of the Loft, P.O. Box 1513, White Plains, New York 10602, or call the Loft helpline 914-948-4922. Stay tuned for the Loft's Community Bulletin Board directly following the end credits of the show. Thanks, and until next time, be proud.